Hello everyone, today we are going to work on this force visualization beam effect in this Star Wars like attaching objects and pulling objects part. So here what we are going to do is this. We have already implemented this pulling objects to us and pushing them with the force part in a previous tutorial, which I will put the link in the description below and also show it in the show next. So I'm only going to work on this beam effect and this illuminating effect on the attached object today. Alright, so let's see how to do this. Right, so this tutorial is based on my Star Wars Force Magic Attack System project I have done previously, and in this project this is what we have at the moment. If I right click, I can attach an object to my hand like this, and if I left click I can shoot it back. Similarly, the same thing happens here as well. Right, so this is basically how it works. I can attach and push objects. Right, so here I'm going to implement a Niagara effect to enhance this magical pulling effect. Right, so for that first I need to create a Niagara effect. Let's create a folder, Niagara, and under effects we have Niagara system. Here new system from selected emitters. Next I'm gonna select dynamic beam, and emitters to add I'm gonna press plus, so it will have a dynamic beam, and finish. Let's call this one full effect. Right, now when I go here, this is what I can see. So first thing is I need this to be something like a static beam. I mean, not a static. This appears and disappears. That should not happen. So let's go to emitter update, and here we have a loop duration. If I make it 0, I will see this continuously, and as you can see here there are 9,000 particles. So spawn count I reduce it to like 20, and under particle spawn I'll set the lifetime to something very small like 0.1. so here we get only 60 particles now. Right, and also so here we have a start point and an ending point, which we can set under emitter setup, beam emitter setup. Here absolute beam start. So here we are using the simulation position, the starting location of the simulation. But for the beam end, I'll set an absolute beam end, because this effect should go to whatever the object that we are attaching with this pulling effect. Right, and I've set the absolute beam end, and we can set a user defined parameter here instead of this static parameter. If I make it like 500, you can see this length is increased, but let's make it connect it to a variable. We can use this drop down and make read from new user parameter. Right, now here we have as the beam end. So if I select this user parameters, now I have like a parameter. So just for demonstration purposes, I'll make it 500. But still, this is just a straight beam, which may not be the ideal way to show our force. So here under particle update, let's add a jitter position. Right, now we have sort of like a lighting type of effect. Yeah, I think that's better. And under beam width, if I make it smaller, this will look more like a lighting effect. Yeah. Also, let's change the color. Let's make B value higher. So we have a illuminating effect. Right, now I think this would be enough for our basic setup. So let's go to here. Now what I'm planning to do is, when I right click and attach an object, I'm gonna use that lighting effect, the beam, between the character and the attached object. So to do that, let me open my character, and here let's add the Niagara system. I'll attach it to the, where is the object socket? Here. Let's attach it to the right hand under the mesh, and R. We don't need any local offset. This effect should start from right hand, or maybe somewhere over here. Right, as the Niagara system, let's select pull effect. Right, this shouldn't be activated by default, so I'll disable auto activate here. We don't need any rotations as well. Right, okay, now here when I right click, we do this forceful, and when we do this forceful, if there is a grabbed object, I should show the beam effect. Okay, now let's set a custom event on, yeah, let's call it toggle beam, and as a parameter I'll get enable. So here get the Niagara effect, set activate, no, we have deactivate and also activate. Right, now based on this input, I'm going to deactivate and activate this effect. If this is false, I'm going to deactivate, otherwise activate. Right, now when I get an object here in this part, I'm gonna toggle beam activate. This wouldn't work correctly yet, but let's see. We have the beam now, but it's wrong. and when I push the object I need to deactivate the beam. So where do I push? Here, right? So this is where we push the object. So here I'm gonna call toggle beam with a false. Right, so here now there is a beam, and if I push, no longer a beam. Okay, so now we need to set the end location of the beam. So for that, do we have a tick here? No, we are not using tick anywhere. Right, so let's use tick, event tick, and here if we have a valid grabbed object, let's get the Niagara effect and set vector parameter. Here we need to update this user parameter, user.beamEnd. Can I copy this now? User.beamEnd, and the parameter location is get actor location of the grabbed object, like this. Right, now let's see, now we have the force in between this grabbed object and the hand. Okay, but since the object is coming to us quite fast, we don't really see the effect nicely. So what we can do is, here let's increase this time like this. Okay, also what if we can make this object more shiny? Let's check the parameter, material. Here we don't have emissive color. Yeah, let's do something like this. Let's multiply this value with emission and connect to emissive color. If I make it 10, this should be more shiny, like this. Right, by default I'll make it 0. Right, now in the force responsive object we have this what's the function we are using when we pull it? Right, here we use reset force, and when we push it we call apply force. Right, we can use those two functions. When we apply the force, we can here just use the same static mesh and set scalar parameter. What's the parameter name? Emission. Value, when we apply the force, it should be set to 0, and when we push it, force, that means here reset force, let's set the emission to 4. See, now the object is white, glowing in white. Okay, oh, pushing didn't reset. I think here apply force with direction. Now the illumination should be deactivated as I push. Yeah, okay. I decrease the lighting in the scene to make it look better. Okay, and here if you increase the jitter amount, you can get a much wider effect for the lighting effect and the particle jitter position. Also, if you disable this ease in ease out, maybe keep ease in enabled, you will see for more time when the object is attached. You can see we receive the object is being attached to the character like this. Pulling, we see pulling for a longer time. Also, under beam emitter setup, if I enable use beam tangent, we can give some angle to the starting location, to the start of the beam. So here we get the owner's x-axis as the direction. So that means here we have the Niagara effect here. I think we will get a location in this way. Let's check. See, now we have the effect with the curve. Right, so here instead of using this system x-axis, let's make a local value 1. So from the hand, the beam will always start upward. See, like this. Okay, so here in the preview the beam is like this, and if I make this object socket a little bit away from the character, we will be able to see a longer beam, but that makes the object away from the camera, which may not be ideal. You can adjust this as you want. Alright. Also, what if we keep the beam for some time as we push the object? So for that, let's go here, and this is where we set the grabbed object as this is where we disable the beam. So here, let's add a delay, maybe 0.5 seconds. Okay, I think it would be better, instead of using a curve, if we use a float, just a regular value. Beam width, because sometimes the end of the trail is not visible. That's why I thought of getting rid of the curve. Okay, so this system is working. Alright, so I'm gonna stop this episode right here. And as always, project files will be available for the download through Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. And if you like to support my work, you can get the membership of the Patreon club. Thanks for watching. See you in another episode. Goodbye.